saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade.
Ow. Oh, perfecto, perfecto. Love it much, love it much. I know I can't control with one hand where I'm going. What do I do? No. I feel like I just did that. Sit down. Sit down and shut up. And welcome back to the show, everybody. I am your host, Mr. Rob French. And I don't know what this is. I guess like a midweek kind of a breakdown type of a thing. Um, but I don't know. Here at Rob's Arcade, we hang out, we play games, we do Fortnite clips. God, I used to get more in front of the camera. I haven't done anything like that in a while. I feel like I've got um, some time now with my new job, and I kind of want to get back into that. I'm trying to figure some of that out. In fact, I feel like I've even got like a costume kind of vibe to go with something that's kind of like you can associate, your favorite Game Boy here with like an actual like almost like a character, if you will. But I've been playing around with some stuff, especially like with TikTok too, trying to I don't know, get some kind of a schedule and a content thing going. One thing I'd love to start doing more of is Nintendo Tuesdays. I've been pumping some of those out, just kind of highlighting Nintendo games. A lot of it more like retro stuff. I love retro games. I've been playing games since I was, gosh, I mean, since the retro games were current. I grew up with Nintendo, Sega Genesis, all of it, like seeing it evolve, even now into this whole new no disc format, which I've kind of had some takes on that and talked a little bit about that with like the Nintendo Tuesdays, and use that as kind of like a time and a platform to discuss that and like what it was like to have games and solid discs and all that. But I think even like as we start to change and going into this whole digital format, I'll be there for that kind of gaming too. I've been around since games went from like cartridge to a disc. I remember that was crazy. Like Sega CD came out, and then GameCube came out with a mini disc. And I kind of feel like the format has always changed. It's always been evolving. I just think it is really sad that there is not a physical content focus as much as there used to be. And not just when I talk about that in terms of like, games and discs or carts or whatever you're getting, but also just some of the cool stuff that would come in a game, the whole packaging. There's something about that. A lot of times when I would go back and I look at other YouTubers and stuff, and they talk about their retro Christmases and things like that, birthdays, and like, yeah, there's like videos and highlights of them opening presents, and there's just something about that that I feel like is going to go missing. But I've been a part of gaming, God, like I said, since the beginning, and I love sharing that stuff with you guys. Um, I gave up drinking a few years ago, and this has also been a cool platform to kind of get some of that stuff out, share some things with you guys, and kind of give you a little bit of push, a little bit of inspiration, if you will, to kind of help you along your way. And if you're feeling doubtful or like what's even the point, I think I'm proof positive that putting good energy out into the universe will help you maintain a better lifestyle. I'm not going to say it's perfect. Nothing's always perfect. There's always going to be hiccups. I deal with, I just, like I said, I'm in a new job. I just recently lost my last job. There's always going to be hiccups. There's always going to be things that's going to come your way. But I think the more positive energy you put into things and the more focus you put on, like I said, just being a positive person, putting good vibes out there, the better tailored you are to deal with those things when they do arise. I was almost like curious if I even wanted to like really do a video, but like I mean, there has been like a lot of cool things happening, and I did like we're halfway through the month here of July. I do like to do like little kickoffs, wrap ups of months, and things like that. Celebrate different holidays as we go into like 4th of July weekends, things like that here on this channel as well. And I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and hop on here for a little bit. Like I said, we're halfway through the month basically, and we just got a lot of cool things I feel like to kind of talk about. Well, in my own little capsule of the world here. I said, starting this new job here recently. It's only been about like a month and a half, I guess, now at this point. Um, Feels like it's been a little bit longer, but I think that's just because I've known some of the folks that I work with now for quite a bit. Um, and I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, it's time is relative, man. Sometimes it feels like it can be, um, like, well, I don't know. I take that because it is. I mean, like some days it feels like, gosh, I just started, and other days it's like, wow, it's already been a month and a half. But I mean, like I said, I think that's just how um, time can be. But yeah, like it just in that short time that I have been there, I just feel like it's maybe that's what it is. It's just been packed with like a lot of cool experiences, a lot of fun days, fun afternoons, fun evenings, and I haven't had a lot of run-ins with like bad attitudes or disgusting people. For the most part, people that I run into every day are, generally pretty friendly. Just had to clear my throat too. It's sort of like a cough in the background, like somebody outside in the game. And then I was like, let me clear my throat as well. But anyway, like most of the people that I work with are really amazing. I haven't had like, really any issues per se. Um, but it's definitely something I'm more cautious of too going into this new job. I was like super friendly at my last job and always kind of like putting myself out there, being like, not only just a good coworker or a good supervisor, but trying to be like a good friend to folks as well. And I feel like that kind of, um, I don't know, several times has come back to kind of bite me in my ass. I feel like it happened at the restaurant I worked at as well. Tried to like take some younger folks under my wing and, be there for them, be that kind of like big brother, cool cousin. And, it's get taken advantage of. And typically, and I hate to be like this, but, let the record show, um, that most often time when I have some kind of like turmoil or upset in my life, it's at the hands of some young female who I think mistakes my um, I don't know, kindness as a weakness. Um, Takes advantage of my personalities, or I feel like in this last situation, like maybe reads too much into my gestures or what have you. And it's crazy too because they're never like sexual advances. Like trust me, I have people that I flirt with and that I talk nasty to or what. But it's that's a whole different scenario. Typically when it comes to people that I work with or whatever, I try to keep it fun, lighthearted, and then try to keep my relationship stuff there with someone else, and it's more of an adult it's a kind of a thing, two adults. Um, but it's sad, it's like you can't be friendly, you can't have a good time, you can't joke around with certain people, and so there is definitely a wall, like now, like with coworkers and people just in general. And some of my friends that I still talk with from my last job are like, dude, oh no, man, don't change who you are. And it's like, well, you kind of have to, you kind of have to um, engage and handle people differently, and you can't allow yourself to be, constantly, taken advantage of, I guess, if you will. But this new job has offered a lot of cool moments. I've had a couple of times this past week where I've just run into a lot of like, well, new faces, new acquaintance, but also like just a lot of people from my old job. And it's crazy. It's like, I talk about a lot of times the impact and the change I've had on people, but like literally, excuse me, I've had people popping in just because they've heard like where I'm at now, and so they've actually come looking for me, which has been truly like just flattering. And then recently, like I said, I used to do work with teens and the youth, and kind of like run a program for middle school and high school students. And one of them, I think she's going to be graduating, I think this year maybe, um, like coming up. And over the summer, she's been getting her EMT. Well, actually, two of them have two of these young ladies who I oversaw in this teen program of like getting their like I said, their EMT certifications and going on to be like saving lives and just doing all this really cool stuff. And I hope when they graduate together, like they get to ride. Oh, I hope they're like partners. I think that would be freaking cool. That'd be almost like a sitcom. These two young ladies, like super close. They're great friends, and I think it'd be like hilarious if they wound up in the same like ambulance, going out there and saving lives together. It'd almost be like a sitcom. I would write that. That'd be like really cool. That'd be like an awesome Netflix show. But anyway, um, how would you do that? Like maybe like besties or friends, but like highlight ER or something like that. I don't know. There's something in that. But anyway, um, I was working the other day and I saw one of like their moms was in there, and I was kind of like, oh hey, and kind of like excited to see her. But always like whenever I see the moms of some of the kids that I work with, I'm always like, where's so and so, where's blah blah blah. And before I could even say anything, she's pointing around the store like she's in here somewhere. And I turn around and there she is, and she comes running up to me, gives me this huge hug, and I think literally she was in there just because she had like grabbed something, but to tell me, guess what? Like I'm graduating, I'm getting my thing, and it's just like those are just like these really cool moments. Like whether it's the the super loud kids who play basketball and don't know how to act right once they come in the store, or it's crazy the amount of people that I bump into, or I'll hold the door open for somebody and they'll be like, "Oh, you're the man from the Y." It's like it's literally insane how many people I get to engage with, and like I said, I don't know, it really helps to pull together the whole idea of what I was trying to do. Like when I left um, the Y, I was really nervous about not having to work like too far away because of like gas prices or anything like that. But I wanted to stay in my community. I wanted to stay where people have like come to recognize me and come to see me on a daily basis. And it seemed like a silly idea. Like I was like, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. Blah blah blah. But now that I have, and now that I've been in this mix for, a month and a half now, it's really cool. Like I said, I've had like, people coming in, giving me hugs, telling me how much they miss me. A couple of like moments where I've literally had to like take a second and be like, hey guys, I'll be right back. Or just step in the back room for a moment and just kind of get myself together because like my eyes are like misting up, and I'm getting like chills and goosebumps and things like that. And it's very it's very very special. And then sometimes too you wonder like, well, am I doing a good job? It's one thing like, okay, cool, everybody's excited to see me, but am I doing a good job in terms of like, are people enjoying what I'm doing? Are people that I work with responding well? And so far, my supervisors and the other managers have had nothing but like good things to say about me and really want me to do good there. Like they don't want to lose me, and I think they see the value in what I bring to the table. I only wish the Y had seen that, but what can you do? Like I said, I think that's more political than really anything else, if you ask me. And I think that's probably what most people will say, but I think more often than not, it's probably true at the same token. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. Yesterday, I saw a ton. It was like Y Day, and I saw a ton of people at my job. We got Blue Ridge coming up, which I'm super excited about. And if you don't know what that is, that's actually part of like the program that I oversaw with the teenagers, and they get to go to the mountains for a week and kind of like a camp. Like they hate when you call it summer camp, but I'm going to be honest, guys, it's summer camp any way you cut it, and it's really cool though. It's probably one of the best summer camps you can put your money into, and it's a great opportunity for teens to connect and then make great friendships. And I think one of my favorite things is you have clubs from all over the East Coast, and these kids will make friends with people in like Florida and Tennessee and Georgia and everywhere else, man. And like, you have friends like spanning from like Virginia. I don't think there's really anything up north so much. Um, but just all over the place from like, Virginia down, like I said, down to Florida, out to like Kentucky, Tennessee, like just all these different clubs, and they'll make friends with each other, and it's crazy. They come back, they see each other like once a year, and it's like, whatever, I don't know, Debbie, Krista, and they just like freak out. They get so excited. And last year was my second year there, and I got to experience some of that. Like there were some of these kids that I really connected with the first year I was there. It was like a young girl and two guys that really I felt like were my three favorites out of like, other clubs. And I'm talking again about clubs that are from like Florida, like North Carolina, like all these different places up and down the East Coast. And these three really stuck out, like really captured my heart. Really cool energy. They just really responded to me as well too. Like, they were, I think, kind of new to this experience, and seeing that like, so was I think that kind of like, oh my God, you're going to love this. Like, we went last year and like, oh my gosh, this is your first year that, and we were kind of sharing like what it's like to be a first year. Um, I think one of the kids was a first year, like he had never been on the mountain before at all. And so we were kind of sharing that experience together and like what that is like, because like, gosh, man, even when I was like overseeing this club, they kept talking about the mountain and the mountain this and the club this and this. And I was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. And then you experience it, and it just like it opens your eyes and changes your whole world. Um, and so then I come back the second year, and like this young girl's like screaming my name, and I look, and it's like, oh my gosh, and like huge hug, and let me sign your book, or let me do whatever, and like, oh, take this little charm or something, some cute little exchange, and just it melts your heart, because it's like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a year. And they still like remember you, and genuinely light up when they see you. It's special. It's really cool. So there's actually been a ton of I feel like counselors coming in, getting things ready, and there's also like just summertime stuff going on. And there's like swim meets and things. There's just been a buzz of like folks coming in, getting things ready. I myself, not gonna front, I had to grab some supplies for my teens. I know they're not my teens anymore, but they're always going to be my teens. They're always going to be my Tucker homies, if you will. Um, and so I had to like grab them some. Oh, this is fucking hilarious. So I think this right here is a great um, piece and a great highlight to just everything in general, and just like the whole major consensus, and a great overview of everything, if you will. You can sum it up in this one fucking experience, and this one exchange and moment in time and history and life and all of engagement and whatever you want to call it. So yesterday, like I said, tons of people from the wire popping in and out, and I'm seeing all of these folks, and my old supervisor comes in, and I see him. I fucking know he sees me. But playing that game, we all do that thing where it's like, oh, let me read all the package labels that I walk by. I'm gonna. Can I do it with this? Hold on, let me see if I can do it with this guy here. Where you're just kind of like, Let me see. Let me look over here. And nope, not going to look. Look down here. And what does that say? Ooh, Skittles. Ooh, that's fun. You know, it's like we've all done it. I remember I ran into somebody I didn't want to see at the mall once. And it wasn't anything like hostile or any kind of thing like that. It was just like somebody from high school. It's like, I just do not want to have these conversations. I don't want to have those what have you been up to conversations. So I made it a point to look at all the book bags and well, not like book bags, were they like Loungefly bags that were hanging up on the top shelves in the top rack, like, oh, let me look at all these up here. So anyway, he was playing that game, and then it got to a point where like I wasn't moving, like I was just standing there doing what I'm doing, and he had to come through, like, you know, to get his stuff or whatever, and you know, it's like, hey, so and so, we'll change names to keep the identities of those safe. It's like, you know, hey Chuck. It's like, oh, hey. Yeah, oh, hey, I love that. It was like, oh, hey, there you are, where you've been standing this whole time while I've been walking around trying to act like I don't see you there. And, you know, it's just really funny. He was asking me how I'm doing. I'm like, I'm doing great. You know, stress is down. My time is more manageable. I'm really enjoying, like I said, even this right here. I couldn't do this before. Like, oh, let me just sit down real quick and shoot an episode for funsies. Like, what? That's awesome. This dude, Chuck, looked whipped. He literally looked like he just ran for his life. You know? Like he came in like the Walking Dead chased him there. For days. Not even just that afternoon. He came in there like they'd been chasing his ass across the country. Fucking underground and fucking railroad style. That man looked confused. He looked whipped. And, you know, just talking about different things, you know, house camp, house this, house that. And then I mentioned Blue Ridge. And it cracked me up because he was like, oh yeah, like when is that? And I'm like, this it's now. It's this weekend. It's like in a few days. It's coming up. Like they leave in a couple. This is like yesterday. So he's like, you know, they leave in a couple of days, dude. And he's like, oh, I gotta get them some snacks and some things together so they can take it, you know, with them. I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, you think, like, come on, man, like, and the whole time I'm kind of laughing because I have a box of like snacks and different things all ready to go. In fact, one of my old like senior kind of like counselor director folks, he's like you know, one of our more adult members of the club who like come back and kind of help out or whatever. Fucking sweetheart of a guy. And you know, I reached out to him. I reached out to the new director. I reached out to their co-director volunteer that I worked with. I just kind of reached out to everybody and was like, hey, you know, what do y'all need? I'm going to get you guys some snacks and some things just to kind of say what's up, you know, thinking about you guys. And they didn't really need anything. None of them really asked for anything, but they were all like super appreciative of it. So I'm packing a box, man. I spent a good time. But I want to make sure they had snacks. They're doing a Ninja Turtle themed kind of like what they call devotion. It's just basically like a little play highlighting different leadership like terms, ideas of what it is to be a leader, like courage or respect, and you know, those things. And so they get a word and they put together like a little play, and they're doing a Ninja Turtle themed devotion, if you will. So I got him like some cool little Ninja Turtle things, and then the guy I worked with, who's like I said, they are like our volunteer director, is a full-time firefighter. You know, this guy's like, man, you know, people look to me and like, oh, you're awesome, you're amazing. I was like, this is what a true amazing is because this guy, he grew up in the club. He comes back to the club every year. Every year he's like, this is my last year, y'all. I'm not coming back. And it's hilarious. Like, he keeps coming back. He's up there every year. I think even if our club didn't need him, I think he would just be up there in general. Like, this place has seen some devastation, and he's always up there literally with his bare hands, like helping putting the place back together. So when he's not changing lives, this man's out there saving lives. Like, he's a full-time firefighter. Like I said, you can't get more of a hero than this gentleman. So I got him a couple little, like, Hot Wheels fire trucks, which I think not only him, but I think the kids will kind of geek out over as well. So I don't know, just had to do it. But I'm sitting there, like, literally with a box of stuff at my job, waiting to be picked up. And he's like, oh yeah, I need to do that. I need to, I'm like, yeah, you do. You know, put your crap down. You're here now. Go get a shopping cart, fill it up. It's ridiculous. I guarantee you what will happen is they'll probably wind up getting a bunch of stuff together sometime tomorrow, and then try to coordinate with the director or somebody to come pick it up, but they're going to be on their way for, like, the overnight. And it's just a perfect example of how, like I said, I was kind of, you know, my supervisor trained me to look ahead like 6 months, 3 months. And God, I feel like everybody else is always like, oh, the week of, let's try to figure this out. But anyway, just wanted to, like I said, jump in here, hang out for a bit. Hopefully you enjoy this little piece of catch up. I've got a 4-day little weekend coming up, so we will definitely be jumping back in there. This might just be like a prelude to, maybe that's what this is more of too, like not just like a midweek breakdown, but also like a tailgate to some really cool content coming your way. So make sure you like this, follow for more, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. See you later, guys.